What are you doing? Let her get out some aggression. Ask her to stop wasting arrows. Join her in shooting at the vultures. Sure, why not? First person to knock one out of the sky gets their wish granted, you announce. Several of the caravan give it a try, including Alette, enjoying the sport and turning around morale. It's no big surprise when one of Oddleif's blue-feathered arrows brings down a bird. Nice. You know, says Oddleif, scanning the caravan, a lot of these women, they could do this. You can tell from the look in her eyes she's excited about the idea. I think I'm going to start training them how to fight, she says. Encourage Oddleif to train the women, try to keep her expectations in check. Tell her you think it's a bad idea. I'd say go for it. More people that can protect themselves, the better. We can always use more fighters, you tell Oddleif. If Alette is any proof, you know how to train someone with a bow. Oddleif gives you a smile. She heads off to some of the women in the caravan, showing them the vulture she shot down. Some clansmen have discovered a large patch of wild fruit. When you approach, you see some people have begun to sample them. A mother frets about whether they're safe after overhearing one of the children say that it tastes funny. Others start gathering by the basketful. Take a bite yourself. Discourage them from eating the fruit. Observe someone who already ate some. Offer a piece to one of the animals in the caravan. Gather as much as you can. You always trust animals. They don't... Well... Most animals don't eat things that aren't good for you. Let's observe. Let's observe. After a short time, you note the slurred speech of a young man partaking of the fruit. Besides a little drunk, he seems perfectly fine. Let's discourage for right now. I saw a lot of people already got some, so we'll see. Many clansmen follow your lead while others continue eating and collecting. Later that day, a few fruit-stained peasants stumble around with drunken grins. Apparently, the fruit was fermented, not poisonous. Better safe than sorry. A flurry of snowfall seems to come out of nowhere and quickly thickens until you are unable to see that man in front of you. You shout out a complete halt, but the screaming winds drown out the sound. A day passes before the blizzard abates and clansmen start to reappear from the snowdrifts. It quickly becomes apparent that not everybody is where you last saw them, and a quick search of the area is not enough to recover all the missing clansmen. Make a thorough search for lost clansmen, ask volunteers to scout the area immediately, make a bonfire and wait for missing members to return, move on, say a blessing for the lost, commit to an hour of searching before departing. Let's make a... no, I don't want to make a fire because I might draw the dredge. Let's ask volunteers to scout the immediate area, see if that helps. Plenty of volunteers step forward and you send them in each direction for a predetermined amount of time. The scouts return mostly empty-handed and family members plead for more time to search. Commit to an hour. I'm going to commit to an hour of searching before departing. While calling out for missing family and friends, the clansmen trample the snow into soggy slush. Any chance of finding tracks are soon lost and the caravan slowly submits to their solemn failure. Sad. I didn't want to make a fire because I would have called dredge probably.
Wormtow was never the kind of place someone would build a town. Fittingly, the Var living here aren't known for welcoming visitors with open arms.
Okay. The Varl find you before you see them, not surprising with this many people behind you. With weapons drawn, they demand to know why you're here, but back down when Ivor tells them he's come to see someone named Krumer. Oh, he's cool. As you follow the old Varl into their meager town, you catch him quietly saying, "If it were anyone else." Good thing Ivor's with us then, huh? Cool, I'm actually glad this guy's joining me. Except for we're going to Grofheim. We know what happened in Grofheim. Sadly, they don't. King's brother or something. Let's go check out the heroes tent first. Okay, nobody can. Oh yeah, Alec can. I just saw that. War leader, huh? That's a new one. Interesting. 11, 13. Okay. Give her more strength. Okay. I believe I have to rest 3 days. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Make sure that's all I needed to do. What in the world? Why did that not work? Okay, I guess I'll just talk to people for now. How did you get all these Varl to follow you? So who is Young Bar? I bet you have some incredible stories. What? Yeah, I want to know why. Any wisdom on fighting Dredge? I best leave you to your business. Okay. The two brothers clam up as you approach. Mogan departs, leaving Mogan looking awkward. Just heard yelling, came to check it out. Sorry, it was none of my business. Nothing, I'll be going. Yeah. I get what you're saying. Between us, I agree. I'll say I get what you're saying. You better not. I like those two brothers. You depart, unsure whether your opinion of Mogan changed for better or worse. I think better. I like him. Alright, so we are back. So last time we tried to rest, it didn't actually work. Yeah, so we have 3 days and 2 days left, so I'm gonna rest 3 days. Because, yeah, like I said, last time it didn't work, so I want all my people back to full health. Let's see here, 12 and 8, and his is 10. We'll leave this for now. Alright, and I actually think we are ready to go ahead and leave and make our way. Let's do it. Grofheim's quite a few days out, says Krumer. But nothing's worse than crossing the wastes, I imagine. If there's anywhere you might be safe from Dredge, it's there. You steel yourself for another long march and half the town of Wormtoe joins you. Very nice. Got a group of Varl with us now. That's what I like to see. As you're nodding off to sleep, shouts of fire pull you back to attention. Flames quickly consume a supply wagon and a few tents. A woman cries out, "My boy," and points to a burning tent closest to the outlying Varl. Two of the giants are motionless, staring at the spreading fire with terror in their eyes. Command the Varl to help. I'm not going to do that. Organize the peasants to put out the fires. Go in after the boy yourself. Make an effort to save the rest of the supplies. Let's organize and put out the fires. You look away from the petrified Varl and rush to help others dip blankets into water barrels to combat the fire. When the flames seem under control, you're able to retrieve the coughing boy. The ashamed Varl retreat further from camp while peasants count the lost supplies. Only 2 days worth, that's not horrible. What in the depths was that about, you mutter to yourself? Something about the fire. Oddleif tells you, I've heard of this before. They don't like it. Doesn't change what happened, you think to yourself. They're afraid of it, you know. I don't expect them to rush in. Someone's been nicking extra goods from the supplies, a concerned woman tells you. Counted these up myself yesterday, no mistake. This keeps up, we'll all be starving before long. Post a few extra guards to watch the supplies. Ask clansmen if they've seen anything suspicious. Announce that any more missing supplies results in rationing. Tell me if you see it again. I'm gonna post a few extra guards. To deter any further theft, you discreetly place some trusted guards by the caravans. You hear a few people casually pointing out that the extra manpower, but nobody seems to raise an alarm for now. Interesting. You haven't seen Alette for much of the day. When you do find her, she's returning to camp alone from a far distance away, looking rather sullen. She keeps her eyes on the ground as you approach. Ask her what's going on, sit quietly beside her, give her some space. I'll sit quietly beside her. I feel like things are changing so quickly, she eventually confides. It's not just that. Everything is going so wrong. I've been talking to Ekil a lot. This gets your attention. Stay away from him, he's dangerous. What has he been telling you? Threaten Ekil immediately. What has he been telling you? He told me how he and Anif are kin. Ekil had a sister who married Anif, but she died a long time ago. They've been bound since, but then Anif left without him. Just left him behind without a word. That's why he came after us. Confirm Ekil's story, threaten Ekil immediately. I don't care what he says, stay away. Don't trust that man. I don't, says Alette. I'm not stupid, you know. I don't go alone. I always bring Oddleif with me. She stalks off back to camp. At least with Oddleif there, you feel a little better about things. Another Godstone, it looks like. The Godstone of Merrick looms into view. Upon it carved a great ocean beast. Jagged stones jut out of the snow like shark fins. It's hard to imagine the Nordfelling waste being filled with water at one time, but the Godstones stand as a reminder of the vast lake it used to look across. A blessing, shouts one of the men in your caravan, holding up what looks like a silver coin. It's a fish scale, he says, pointing out the rainbow pattern that shows in the sunlight. Soon, a curious child has found another hiding in the snow, and then a third is discovered. Perhaps they'll bring us luck, you overhear, and before long the caravan has become obsessed with gathering the shining scales. Let the caravan take their time, cut them off after a reasonable amount of time, leave now before this gets out of hand. Let's cut them off after a reasonable amount of time. When you awake to find people still searching through the snow and shrubs, you call it off. We can't spend another day here, you tell them. Be glad for the luck you found and let's go before it runs out. They fret and moan, but eventually get them back on the trail. Nice. Oddleif calls you over grinning. A row of women holding bows of differing ages and experience line up before a row of trees in the distance. They fire, doing an impressive job of hitting the trunks. I think they're ready to fill some dredge with feathers. One woman still hasn't shot her arrow. She stands perfectly still. The others watch. Just as the wind shifts, she lets go, and her arrow flies not into one of the trees, but a snow rabbit that had scurried out from underneath. Dinner, she says, smiling. A group of men from the caravan approach. Listen here, says one. Practice all you want. My wife isn't fighting a dredge. The other men agree in chorus. We don't want to see a battlefield full of dead wives and daughters. Encourage Oddleif to train even more archers. Stand by the women becoming fighters. I'm having second thoughts. I'm gonna stand by our... The men argue their point, but eventually relent. Thanks, says Oddleif. To be honest, it was harder than I expected, but the more people who can hold their own, the better. The women return to camp, not just as clansmen, but as fighters. That's what I like to see. I wish she could have trained some of the guys to be archers too, but she apparently didn't want to. An old man sits astride an overgrown portion of the trail. You lost, he asks. He adjusts the leather strap on his head and says, No, are you? He jumps up and shuffles toward the caravan, his tattered clothes revealing no weapons. Well, I've seen better, the old man says, peering into the supply wagons, but I'll join you. He stands next to a fighter, throws his beard over his shoulder, and puffs up his chest. The fighter grins, and the stranger exhales, asking, What are we waiting for? Lead the way. We've already got enough mouths to feed. You're welcome to join if you can keep pace. Who are you, and what are you doing here? That makes sense. Why would you not ask? Call me Unar, or anything else you like, the old man says. A man goes where he pleases, doesn't he? The stern look is more comical than intimidating, but you stop looking for answers. We've already got enough mouths to feed. You're welcome to join if you can keep pace. Sure, why not? Keep pace, the old man puffs through his mustache. No fleeter than Unar. And husbands, mind your wives. I'm cursed with the golden tongue, not silver. The caravan enjoys a good laugh as they start moving once again. He seems like good people. I hope he's good people. We'll see. Somehow I still have high hopes for people, even though I've been turned on over and over and over again. You hear a whistle on the wind and spot a long line of Varl far up ahead, heading toward you. Behind them is a swarm of dredge and a trail of bodies leading off into the distance. Get down here, barks Krumar. Dang, it took me a whole day. Don't let them spread out, shouts the lead Varl as you approach the battleground. Soon, you almost regret finding yourself fighting alongside them, facing off against a daunting number of dredge. Ooh, it's a war thing again. Dredge line the battlefield, weapons drawn, a fight seems inevitable. You take a quick head count, there must be at least 129 of them. You have 131 fighters and 62 Varl at your side. The two forces are about evenly matched. There is no guarantee of victory here. Let's charge. I'm doing it. Alright. Oh, I'm definitely gonna use him then. Oh yeah. Okay, let's replace... I'm gonna replace Hogan with him. Oh no, I meant to do him. Yeah, I really like having archers and stuff. Alright, I think that's good. Let's do it.